Hello，大家好，欢迎大家来到读书时间。我们今天继续读《Soft Hearts: A Rett Swinson Mystery》这本书。好，我们现在开始。Aunt Lucy was a bitch, but she was a rich bitch. Brad said drunkenly, most miserable week of my life, but it paid off. Cousin Leon ain't gonna like it, but he's always been a snot. Nasal worthless person. I hope I can be there to see his face when he learns that most of his inheritance is going to me. Brad gave his wife a sloppy kiss on the cheek. What the hell? By the painting, I will enjoy watching Flaming Reggae freak out when he sees that red dot appear. As Gail started to find Ricky and make the purchase, I saw Daryl enter the gallery. I could tell him what I'd heard from the nurses and give him my final thoughts on who had done the crime. But the excitement I felt at seeing him was undetermined by the appearance of two additional officers he'd brought with him. I rushed over to meet the detective and his men. What's going on? I asked. I need to talk to Otis, Daryl said. All business. My heart sank. Why now? There's a new urgency to the case, Daryl said. One of Trent's friends has disappeared. One of the bad elements he was hanging out with. No, an acting friend of his. A boy named Barry Watson. Daryl must have seen my face go pale. Do you know him? I nodded grimly. What do you think happened? He didn't come home from school 2 days ago, so his parents filed a report yesterday. We don't know if his disappearance is connected to this case, but we don't have any more time to waste. We need to catch this killer. Otis might hold the key. Okay, I said, but please don't approach him in the exhibit hall. Let me get him for you. You can talk outside the curtains. Grudgingly, in a reluctant or resentful manner. Grudgingly, Daryl agreed. I was on my way to fetch Otis when Wash stopped me. Miss Rett, it's an emergency. What's wrong? We can't choose a winner. It's a two-way tie. I don't understand. There are 3 judges who refused to pick a winner. She decided it's wrong to hold a beauty contest for fruit toms. Large battle typical underground one for burying the dead. Tomb. For fruit tombs. I exclaimed, hitting my limit of exasperation. Exasperation, a feeling of intense irritation or annoyance. Don't tell me who thinks pies have rights too. Just give me the 3 ratings sheets and I'll take it from here. Feeling like the angel of death, I approached Otis, who had warmed up to the admiring crowd. I hated to be the one to tell him that the police were here to speak with him, but I had no choice. I led him and August through the crowd to just outside the showroom where the police were waiting. Turns out I'd started a sort of parade. Freddie followed me through the gallery's black drapery, glass curtain in loose folds. Wash and Jasmine right behind him. We saw you leave this show quickly, Freddie said. Is everything all right? I put my finger to my lips. Otis said, Daryl, we have reason to believe you may be withholding evidence from this murder case. Perhaps to protect your relative. I've got with me a warrant to search your property for specific items detailed in the warrant. Officers are searching your home and studio as we speak. You won't find nothing, Otis said definitely. Daryl continued, We also have the authority to examine and, if necessary, tear apart as we search each and every one of these art pieces here today. Do you have anything you want to tell us before we do that? I couldn't believe what I was hearing, and I wasn't the only one appalled, greatly dismayed or horrified. Destroy this man's art, said Freddie. Why, some of these pieces predate the murder by a decade. Besides, you are too late, August added. Several of the pieces have already sold, including the largest one, which someone just bought for $100,000. People have to take my grandfather seriously now. Daryl shook his head. No one can take any of these pieces out of this hall, even if they have been purchased. Our small group looked at one another, stunned. Destroy Otis' art in order to find some piece of evidence that may not even exist? If the pieces were destroyed, Otis would surely have to give back every cent he'd been paid for them, and there would be none of his art left for posterity. All future generations of people. Posterity. Mr. Jones, said Daryl, I need you to tell me what you know. Otis' stoic reticence seemed to waver. I know, came a cry. Otic, stoic, a person who endures pain or hardship without showing their feeling or complaining, a member of the ancient philosophical school of Stoicism, another term of reticence, the quality of be reticent, reserved, seemed to waver, moving in a quivering way, flicker, become weaker. I know, came a cry. We all turned. Lydia, who had followed us out of the hall, had been listening to the whole conversation. Mom? Daryl said, what's going on? Lydia, on the verge of angry tears, spoke in halting cadence, slow and hesitant, into abrupt stop. Cadence. Inflection of the voice, modulant sequence of notes. Spoke in halting cadence. Don't you bother Otis. She doesn't want you to destroy Mr. Jones' art, said Wash, assuming his default role as artist translator. That's clear enough, son, said Darryl, every faced and frustrated with the way this whole warrant serving was going. Lydia trembled. I killed Wanda. Lydia, cried Otis. What foolishness is this, officer? I can explain. Hush, please, everyone, I shouted. I knew what was going to happen if I didn't intervene. More people were going to say things they'd regret, and I'd be no closer to the solution of this mystery. There was only one way that I could keep my various promise to Darryl, Augusta, and Wanda all at once. The path forward was a huge gamble and might not work, but I had to try. Detective, I said, I believe I can get you the evidence you need to close this case, and we won't have to destroy a lick of this man's art in the process. Pass the tongue, another taste, clean it, overcome, wet. Process. Smart blow, a short principal solo in jazz. Licking something with it. He looked at me hard, a look that said, I can't Rett, not this time. I persist. Please give me 2 hours, not even an hour and a half. Keep one of your officers here so he can make sure no one tampers with the art. Interfere with something. Monkey around. A machine or tool for tempering down earth or blasts. No one tampers with the art. If in 90 minutes you don't have enough evidence to make an arrest, then you can go through with your warrant. Everyone was looking at Darryl. Fine, 19 minutes. Darryl said. After that, a search of the art goes forward. The air in the group was still tense, but somewhat less desperate. After some doubting looks in my direction, most everyone filed back into the show, leaving just me, Darryl, and one of the 2 officers.好，谢谢大家，我们今天先读到这里吧，那我们下次再见了，拜拜。